Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 690th edition of the Feuerstein's Fire American Soccer Show. I'm your host, Daniel Feuerstein. I'll give you American perspective of our clubs, leagues, players, national team, and other fabulous moments. Get your daily reading from me and other writers over at Beyond the 90, at beyondthe90.substack.com, and locally over at baddogsports.com for your New York soccer fix. The chat room is open on YouTube. Come on in, discuss amongst yourselves if you like. You have a question for me, I'll try to answer it to the best of my abilities. We are in the second round of Open Cup qualifying for those amateur clubs that wants to make that trip to the first round draw and begin in the opening round in 2026. We had some exciting matches, of course, from the last round, and now a gigantic, whopping amount of matches that we're going to have this upcoming weekend, a 3-day Open Cup qualifying extravaganza. So many clubs across the country battling it out for 90 minutes, maybe an extra 30, maybe even penalty kick shootouts. And this is why you love these games. This is why you love the Open Cup, because you want to see these clubs battling with the big boys, with the giants of the game when they get their opportunity. Now, once again, we'll wait to see if there's going to be any changes for the format for the 2026 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup proper. But for now, we have these clubs ripped, roaring, and ready to go. And let's go ahead quickly showing you the matches that we're going to have in this opening round. Look at what's happening here. There we go. We're going to have on Friday, Western Mass Pioneers taking on Atletico Boston for Friday, October the 10th. The rest of it for the Saturday matches, Vereniging Erzgebirge taking on Colonial FC, CD Firenze of Massachusetts versus Project Football, also of Massachusetts. Capital City Islanders will be taking on Modo 1776 from Maryland. FC Monmouth taking on Bulldogs FC, that's all New Jersey. SC Vistula Garfield of New Jersey taking on Ironbound SCP, also of New Jersey. We have MSI Pro of Maryland taking on Arlington SA Pro Virginia. Woodland SC from Kansas taking on Bofs St. Louis out of Missouri. United SC of Illinois taking on Edgewater Castle of Illinois. Mint Hill SC of North Carolina taking on South Carolina United Heat, the Carolina Derbies between those two states. O'Shea's FC versus FC Florida, Florida Derbies. Parkland Travel Soccer Club taking on Florida Football Club. ASC New Stars taking on SVD Beaumont. Briar United FC taking on Greenville United FC. Bold City SC taking on Stetson FA. Fort Myers FC taking on Badgers FC. Tulsa Athletic taking on the Denton Diablos. Deportivo Lake Mary taking on Emerald FC Florida. FC Kanks versus Harbor City FC. Napa Valley 1839 FC against FC Folsom. Next Level Soccer taking on the Olympians FC, and Valley 559 FC taking on Real San Jose. On the Sunday matches, a large amount of matches. Steel City FC taking on FCY New York. Dorados FC taking on Virginia Dream FC. FC Lone Star, GPSE taking on FC Omens. Gorilla FC taking on DMV Elite FC. Oakland United FC versus the Scots American Athletic Club. Metropolitan Oval Academy taking on Central Park Rangers. Schneider FC 09 taking on Osners FC. Doxa FC taking on Lansdowne Yonkers FC. That's a big challenge for Doxa FC. We all know about Lansdowne Yonkers, the Lansdowne boys, the first suburb of New York State above New York City. The New York Greek Americans taking on the New York Renegades. Grove United taking on Alexandria Reds. Cleveland SC taking on Akron City FC. Boulder United taking on Harpo's FC. Croatia, Cleveland taking on Detroit Metro FC. Southern Indiana FC against the Bootleggers AC. Omaha Street FC taking on Iowa Demon Hawks. Peak 11 FC against Azteca FC. Chicago House AC against Wisloka Chicago. Majestic SC taking on Atletico Buford. Miami Soccer Academy taking on River Miami FC. Pinellas County United Pelicans taking on CFL America Spurs FC. Miami United taking on Boca Juniors Miami. Kalanji Pro Profile against Lemino, Georgia. North Georgia United taking on Patros FC. Hurricane FC versus Palm Beach Flames. Tennessee SC versus Eagle Sports South Haven. 210 FC against Master Joga. Atletico Miami International versus Red Force. FC Balboa versus San Diego International. The Olympic Club taking on Albion SC Silicon Valley. City SC San Diego taking on Rebels SC. Sharktopus FC taking on Belleville Athletic FC. Inter San Francisco taking on CF San Rafael. Irvine FC against Apple Valley Storm. And finally, the last two, Ariana FC against Bay Area United. And San Ramon FC versus Dublin Celtic FC. This, my friends, is why we all love the Open Cup. This is why we want to see these clubs battle it out in the amateur divisions to see who wants to put their name in the big lights on the big pitches of American soccer to battle for the U.S. Open Cup, to add their distinctive names to those like Dallas Roma, like the Bavarians in Milwaukee, like Christos FC, and the many other clubs that have battled, fought for, and wanted to be a part of this tournament. Every year, I am so thrilled to talk about the Open Cup because this is part of the fabric of the game in this country. And any other country that has this style of Open Cup, FA Cup, however you want to do it. It is really exciting when you have these amateur clubs getting this opportunity right in front of them where they can take on a USL League One side, a USL Championship side, and if they can get lucky enough to go all the way into the MLS level, well, kudos to them and good luck to them all the way through. Because this is what it's all about. And let's not forget as well, the new incentive. If you are an amateur club, even those short season clubs like USL League 2 and the NPSL, and you can get the furthest in the Open Cup, like what El Farolito did last year, like they've always done, not only will you win the John Mata Cup, you will have that $50,000 cash prize. It is just amazing to see the improvements that U.S. soccer continues to make to the Open Cup. More needs to be done, no question about it. But so far, CBS Sports, the John Mata Cup, the expansion of the amateur bids for that fourth and final round. Now, all we need is Major League Soccer to stop hiding and give us not just 16 clubs, not just 18 clubs, not just 20 clubs, the entire kit and caboodle of the 27 American clubs that should be fighting for the national championship of American soccer. And as we are ready to soon count down into this international window we are also counting down these clubs being ready for the U.S. Open Cup second round of qualification to the proper tournament. Once again, the third and fourth rounds will be next month in November, early November for the third round, end of November for the fourth round. This is what it's all about. And the other thing I would love to see what CBS Sports can do, I would love to see them show us. I know they can't do it every single round in the amateur qualifying, but I personally would love to see CBS Sports come in and give the amateurs their moment in the spotlight, either on Paramount Plus, CBS Sports Network, and CBS Sports Golazo Network to show those matches on the final round of qualifying to see who will go to the Open Cup proper. That, my friends, should be the next level in this situation. It's not just enough that I want to give these clubs their due. I want to give these clubs their moment in the spotlight. I want to give them their time, because not only is it the professional levels that makes this sport great, it's the grassroots level of the amateur divisions that also makes this game whole from the bottom all the way to the top. Because that's what it's all about, the grassroots level. And if one of those players that these teams have that can graduate them to the top clubs, whether it be in MLS, USL Championship, USL League One, that would be something extraordinary. And that's all we want, and that's all we're asking, to give these clubs their chance to talk about themselves, to talk about why they are the pulse of their communities across this great land, across this great nation. It's not just the 27 American clubs in MLS. It's not just the over 25, 26 clubs in USL Championship, soon to be 21 clubs in USL League One. I am talking about from top to bottom, anything and everything that makes this sport truly the beautiful game. And that is why I am here to make sure those clubs, they come on, they talk about themselves, and they tell us why they love this game and why they want to participate in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's go ahead and get to the interviews. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me tonight, my first guests, coming from the capital city Islanders in the state city of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This is the president of the club, Alex McGee, and his head coach, Johnny Morris. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel, for having us. Excited to be on the podcast.
It's great to have you both on. Now, let me just say this. As someone that does cover the game in this country, taking that trip on Amtrak from Newark Penn Station to the Harrisburg Transportation Depot to catch the former Harrisburg City Islanders twice in Open Cup action against the New York Red Bulls. I have a soft spot for that city. Love the town. As I've said to many people, to me, it's a sliver of Philadelphia in the heart of Pennsylvania. Alex, obviously the club is not around anymore. It's probably a youth team now, but why is it that you wanted to bring back a club into the city of Harrisburg?
Yeah, I mean, Central PA has a great soccer history. I mean, tons of clubs that are winning the state championship every year. Penn FC, which has been super successful, which is, the former City Islanders. They go on and win national championships every year. The city has an indoor pro team. I worked for them for a number of years, and it was missing an outdoor team. I mean, City Island is probably one of the nicest venues and one of the most unique venues where we actually sit on an island. And there's a baseball team to the left of us, and now there's a men's team that plays on the island. It's a great venue, great environment, and beautiful skyline.
Absolutely. I can definitely attest to it. It is just absolutely beautiful. Johnny, if I can ask you this, what intrigued you to become the head coach of the club?
Just the whole environment that Alex put forward. I mean, the capital city Islanders is just bringing back soccer to the island, to the area, and it's just a phenomenal thing. You see the people's faces that come into the ground, week in, week out, and it's just awesome. It's great to see the game back on the island. It's been long overdue.
It really has been. And even though I did take the Amtrak twice to Harrisburg, I love the walk across the pedestrian bridge across the Susquehanna River. I can just tell you, sometimes I dream about taking that bridge walk sometimes when I'm thinking about the game too much in my during my off time when I'm not doing the show. But, Alex, I apologize. Alex, if I can just say this, since going back into Skyline Sports Complex and on the field, which is on the northern end of the island, just how successful has that home field advantage been for the club?
I mean, it's been huge for us. Our fans come out, support it, and it's no secret. Like, we've been very successful since the start of this. So Skyline has been a huge asset to us. One of the few grass fields in the UPSL. So it's been a huge help for us. We train on grass, we play on grass. So it's been great. Fans have made a great environment. The city has done well supporting us. And we're excited to be back. And the players have been phenomenal, putting in the time, putting in the effort. They're all winners on and off the field. So super excited.
Exactly. And, just to talk about Skyline Sports Complex again, Johnny, what also intrigued you about playing your actual matches on an actual island, not as big as Manhattan, obviously, but, just the space, the confines seem to be, I wouldn't say cramped, but unique.
Yeah, it's very unique. It's almost like a bowl situation. We're wedged in the river there, and there's really only one way out of that ground, and it is really unique. The grass in there is great. We're very competitive on that grass. But yeah, the whole setup with just the river just running past you and the skyline just off there is phenomenal. The city of Harrisburg is just lit up at night for the 7 p.m. games, and it's just an awesome environment.
Yes, it really is. And hopefully you'll put that club back into Open Cup once you get ready for this second round matchup. And hopefully you'll continue on in the qualifying stages of this tournament for next year. Alex, if I could also ask you, you do play in the UPSL, United Premier Soccer League, in the Northeast American South Conference. What is it about that conference that makes this club dangerous, or what makes that conference dangerous for the club?
So when we kicked off, we didn't really know where to start. We were like, hey, we want to go in somewhere that's competitive. We had options: UPSL, USL2, APSL, and we just saw how successful the UPSL has been, especially in that Northeast region, where you look at the New York teams who have done extremely well in the area, and just this spring we went on to play a New York team and beat them in the regional final, which was our first season, first time lifting some trophies, and we're hoping to continue to do that. So this conference has been super competitive for us. You look at it, nobody's really blowing anybody out. It's usually very close, and it just helps us compete at a higher level. And it should provide us some success against Moco out of Maryland.
Yep, it should be, and it really is exciting. Johnny, if I can ask you, on the club right now, who is the most, should I say, your players on your roster, who has been the focus of the club right now? Who has been the one that everyone loves to come and see over at Skyline?
Well, we've got 4 or 5, 6 maybe standouts that are on the team right now. We have ex-pros that play, and we have guys which probably should be playing at the pro level. So We've got a lot of good standouts. We've got a lot of young guys, which obviously they're the apple of some of the girls' eyes on the island there. So, we got young guys which are bringing people in just because of how, their flair and their tenacity on the field. Freddie Opoku, he's played pro overseas and came back. He was originally with the Harrisburg City Islanders. So he's obviously merged in with us now too. And Freddie's a guy who is just simply unreal on the field. His work rate and his commitment is phenomenal, and probably should be playing at pro still. So hopefully, we can push him in the right direction also.
That's great to hear, obviously. And Alex, if I can ask you, have you heard from any, besides the one player that Johnny's talked about, has there been any former Islander players that have been asking to come back to, or they want to come back to the club, to the Harrisburg area to be a part of this capital city side?
Not necessarily. Most of those guys are a bit older now. I'm good friends with Danny DePrima, who played for the City Islanders, scored, I believe, a goal in the semifinals of the USL playoffs. So I'm very good friends with him. Great friends with Jackson Betcher, who is Bill Betcher's son, who was the former coach of the City Islanders. So I wouldn't say that we have anybody, crawling back to us. Most of those guys have moved on, played their professional careers, have families now. But we're obviously looking at the younger generation of people that were once fans of the City Islanders when they played. And now they're coming in and they're impacting the game and creating chances for us and doing great things. So.
No, that's fantastic. That's great to hear. And Johnny, I just want to ask you, I'm not asking for the playbook, obviously, but what type of style does your club like to play? You like to press, you like to counter, do you like to bunker? What makes the City Islanders, Capital City Islanders, so dangerous when they're playing regular matches in UPSL play?
I think it's just the flair of our formation, and also the guys that we have on the squad, because they can adapt to any situation that we put them in, to be honest with you. We do like to press the ball as often as possible and try and squeeze the game in our favor. But then we also like to break quickly with the pace we have on both wings. So it's a good thing we have, and we can also adjust to a different style as well. So we won't put too much out there, but we're really, really good with our flair and creativity. So,
And gentlemen, whoever wants to answer this question is fine. Both of you want to answer it, that's okay. Talking about your second round opponent in Moco 1776. Not sure if you're able to watch any tape on them, what they're capable of. I'm assuming you've already sent some spies into the state of Maryland right now, since they're not that far away. But what is about Moco that piques your interest? And how do you think you're going to handle how they're going to perform against you for the second round matchup? Alex, you, and then of course Johnny.
Yeah, so I'll be honest. I just sent out to the team in our group chat just some film and stuff. So we're going to study them a lot this week. But I mean, they're out of Maryland. Maryland's a great soccer state, so they're going to be super competitive. I don't believe this is their first Open Cup, so they've been here before, and I'm sure they've had success. So, they're probably watching a ton of film on us. We're going to watch a ton of film on them, and we're going to, adapt as the week goes on and be ready to go. We're 100% focused on that. We have a game on Sunday as well, but, U.S. Open Cup is our focus right now. We're not too bothered about Sunday's game.
No, yeah. That's fantastic. Go ahead, John.
Looking at their team, I watched the film like last week, and film a couple of weeks back too, of a couple of games they've had in their league. They have a lot of individual players which are very strong. I don't know if they're as dynamic as other teams. I hope they aren't. Just from watching the film, and maybe games dictate what you see, but I don't feel that I don't feel we have to worry too hard about the flair of the team. We just got to go out and do our own job and make sure we compete one-on-one, because like I said, they have some individually strong players who are very technically good. So if we just close down the spaces, I believe that we should be okay.
Fantastic. That's great to hear. And of course, with the now added incentive of the John Mata Cup, if you do qualify for the first round proper, there's that $50,000 bonus check. and the cup to if you do decide to advance past the opening round or so. Does that give an additional motivation to reach the Open Cup?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we're a small budget team, and we're making do, and we're making, headway through all that we're trying to do, the improvements to City Island, and really enclosing that a bit more and making it an actual venue for fans to travel into. And, hopefully as we rise through the soccer tiers, it's a stadium people want to visit. So the money, the trophy, the recognition, just bringing an energy and passion back into Harrisburg City, hopefully getting a supporters group again and creating that noise in Harrisburg is going to be big for us. So the further we can go, if we can win it all, that would be great as well.
No, that would be fantastic to hear. And Johnny, real quick, do you get a lot of fans that come to you and say, we miss those Harrisburg City Island days, but thank God you guys are here to bring back some of those memories of when, it was a fortress to play at the Skyline Sports Soccer Stadium and, be a dominant side, not just back in the day with USL, but the way you're playing the past season in UPSL?
Yeah, I mean, I believe there's a lot of people that keep reaching out that want to come watch us every week. They want to come back. I mean, I'm inviting and getting 16, 17, 18, 20 people coming back every single week. And that's just from my own personal group of friends, There is a lot of people which are reaching out and also saying, hey, when is your next game? You guys are causing a buzz. You're top of the league. You're doing really well. And this is just all down to how the club is run. Alex is a humble guy. And he's not going to say this, but the front office staff is phenomenal. Capital City Islanders, none of these guys pay a penny to play. They don't pay anything to travel to games, and that's just credit to the front office staff and the way the club is run. And if they continue to run it like they are, I mean, sky's the limit for this club. We'll do the business on the field, and they'll keep doing the business off the field.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do in that second round matchup. Alex McGee, the president of the club, Johnny Morris, the head coach of the club, the Capital City Islanders of the United Premier Soccer League. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining me. And hopefully, if you guys do make it to the Open Cup proper, I should have brought it with me off of my bookcase. I can't do it now because I'm live, but I promise, even if I don't have you on, if you don't get to the end, I'll still email it to you, Alex. I promise. A Harrisburg City Islander program that I have in my bookcase. I promise that. I'll show it to you.
Awesome.
We'll get you Capital City Islander stuff so that way you're updated and current with what's going on in Harrisburg.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Harrisburg's always been in my heart. I love the city, love the town, love everything about it. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time again. Thank you, and good night, and good luck.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you. Once again, Johnny Morris and Alex McGee of the Capital City Islanders. They joined me tonight to talk about their match. Now, he couldn't come on live, my next guest. Conflicts originally that popped up, but we were able to record it. This is the owner of Woodland Soccer Club in Shawnee, Kansas. This is Mr. Ross Harris, and a recorded interview with me as his club is getting ready to take on their second round opponent in the U.S. Open Cup qualification second round. And here is that interview right now. Hello, everybody. Daniel Feuerstein here, and welcome back to the American Soccer Show as our U.S. Open Cup amateur qualifying for the round. Joining me right now, he is the owner of Woodland SC, based out of Kansas, in Shawnee, Kansas. This is Mr. Ross Harris. Ross, congratulations on going to the Open Cup amateur qualification stages, and how are you tonight?
I am excellent, Daniel. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to talk soccer with a great fan like yourself and talk more about this tournament.
Absolutely, and it's great to talk about it. Now, just for those of us that are not familiar with your club and, of course, the league you play in, and we'll put that up graphic up in a minute or two. So talk about your Kansas City Select League. What makes that league so big and so popular that everyone wants to get involved in it?
Yeah, so we're the Select League. We're 10 different teams located throughout the KC metro area. Each team has its own unique stadium. Each team represents its own unique city. We are an English Premier League style league. There's no playoffs. It's all points based. And we are helping grow soccer in what we've started to call the soccer capital of America here in Kansas City. With a World Cup coming as a representative city for the World Cup, we feel we have a great opportunity in front of us with the league we started in the Select League. We've sent 2 teams to the Open Cup 2024 and 2025, and we're hoping to make a good representation of this league with the 5 teams that are in Kansas and the 5 teams that are in Missouri that make up our league.
That's fantastic. And obviously it must be a real tough league, and everyone's always battling for position to get that trophy at the end of the season, aren't they?
Yeah, our inaugural season was 2024, and Woodland FC did capture the inaugural title. In 2025, my team took second, and the winning team went undefeated the entire way. They were a really strong team, getting a lot of great talent from all the NAIA schools nearby in Kansas and Missouri, and they actually pipped us as well for the Kansas State Cup as well that we competed in. But thankfully, we were able to qualify not just for the Region 2 tournament, but for the Open Cup, and we're hoping with a little bit of a revamped and rebolstered roster to really prove our mettle in this tournament.
Now, for those of us not familiar with your club, when did you establish your club, and what was the idea of having your own club in amateur soccer?
So the founding of the club was actually a little bit of a funny story. I was playing a game of soccer with my alma mater, Calvary University in South Kansas City, and I ended up breaking my wrist in that game, and I couldn't work my normal job, so I was stuck at home for about a month, and I was standing there just thinking, man, how do I be productive now? How do I make the most of this time that I'm at home? And I heard from a couple friends of mine that they had gotten together and wanted to start the Select League and had the blueprint for the 10 teams. And I just said, I've played the game for darn near 30 years. I've won a national championship in college, played for a bit with the Chicago Fire's Academy system, which is where I grew up in Southeast Chicago. And decided, maybe I should give this a try on the administrative side so I can help a bunch of the young men who are trying to scratch that competitive itch right after college or whatnot. And we decided to start Woodland FC at the end of 2023, and then we officially incorporated 2024 on my daughter's birthday.
That's amazing. And I guess your daughter is the lucky girl to get you to start this club?
Always. When I started the club, my goal was to, by the time my kids are 18, they have a job waiting for them. And they don't have to go work for something else. And hopefully, if we're successful enough, if I'm faithful enough with the responsibilities I've been given, I can create something where they'll have good work available when needed.
No, absolutely. And that's the one thing we hope to see. Good work, hard work, and of course rewards everybody. Now, as we've already talked about the league, your club, who is your head coach currently? And I understand he's on his way to go somewhere else. And who's coming in to jump right in for this qualification run?
Yeah, so I had to step in midway through the season to coach the team. We did have a great coach named Will Buller, great young man. He had a different opportunity. That was a much better opportunity for him with a big youth club in the area to get a coaching opportunity. And I encouraged him to go take it. And so I took over midway through the season, and I enjoy coaching, but I like the administrative side more. And our next coach will be our current captain, who's retiring at the end of this season. He's getting up there in age like I am, but he's got enough in his legs for a few more games through this Open Cup run. And he'll be taking over coaching with his mountains of experience that he'll be bringing to the table.
Oh, that's great to hear. We always know, what Sporting Kansas City has done, either in Kansas City, Missouri, and of course in Kansas City, Kansas. They are a staple of the area. But for yourselves, for in the Kansas City, Kansas area, Shawnee, Kansas, even in any of the other towns, how much talent is in soccer where you are residing currently?
Yeah, so we're not called the soccer capital of America for nothing, and it's not just because Sporting Kansas City is here. We have so many high-quality colleges right nearby, between Mid-America Nazarene, between Benedictine, between Central Methodist, the Baker University. The list goes on of high-quality schools right nearby. Even the bigger schools like Kansas or like KU or Mizzou, they even have club soccer teams. They might not compete in the Big 12, but they have their own club teams that they travel and play other people with. So we really are a hotbed for high quality Division II, Division I-esque talent right here in the area. And honestly, our league is a great opportunity for these lads in the off season to keep themselves in shape, to keep themselves in form. And we even have opportunities with some of our partnerships, to give them a springboard to pursue some professional play after their college career is over.
Now, for your league, the Kansas City Select League, is this a fall and spring league seasons, or do you play like a full year from start to finish?
So we play first weekend of April through the first weekend of August, and that's intentionally to accommodate the college guys so they can get back to their teams if they're still in school. And it gives us time to so that we're never fighting with the local schools in the area. We want to be a help to them, not a hindrance.
That's good to hear, and that's wonderful to hear. Obviously, we always talk about, what college soccer does and high school soccer as well. They need to get their time to have their players ready to go for their respective seasons, because we all know it doesn't matter what division in college these schools are in, whether it's the big first division, the NCAA Division I or Division II or Division III. They got to have their time with these players as well. And when you are, as a coach yourself, as you said, what type of style do you like to see your club play in? Now, I'm not asking for the playbook, but what is it that makes your club tick, that you're going to fight for those trophies each and every year?
Yeah, so I grew up playing center midfielder. I played it my whole life. I like to play a style that I hated having to run from losing the ball, and I also hated boom and run type stuff. I wasn't a big fan of Route 1 football ever. And my family's from the Netherlands, so I've always liked to play a more technical, more possession-based style. And that's in our DNA. That's in the players we recruit. We want to play fluid. We want to play good-looking soccer with a nice amount of healthy amount of grit tossed in there.
No, that's great. And that's wonderful to hear. I'm very happy to hear that. So to see this happen, and I understand that now that you've been given that first round bye in the Open Cup qualification process, do you feel that was a hindrance, or is that just a helpful thing for you to prepare better for this opportunity in the second round?
I think the word opportunity you use there is key, because it would be a hindrance if we've wasted and frittered away our time and weren't actually prepping. But the upside is we had a little bit more time to prep and a little bit more time to make sure the roster was set right, and we were getting all our I's dotted and our T's crossed. The benefit of playing round one is you're playing against, just because there's more pool of teams to pick from. As each round goes, the odds of you playing a team that already won keeps going up. So the quality and the dangers keep going up the more you go. But we're not a team that's afraid of danger. We are not afraid of challenges. We embrace that, and we are hoping that we've used our time well, and we'll find out in a week.
Well, that's great to hear, and hopefully it should be a fun one. Now, your second round opponent is going to be Bofs of St. Louis in Missouri. there's your second round opponent. And, what have you seen from them? What are you aware about them? We all know about St. Louis and the history of soccer in that city, and all the Open Cups that some of these amateur clubs, current or former clubs, have won the championship. What are you expecting out of them? And are they going to give you a big challenge?
Yeah, you can't tell the story of soccer in America without places like St. Louis or New Jersey. It's just impossible to do that. And we recognize that Boffs is a high quality opponent. Everything we've seen of them, from videos on YouTube to the following that they have, they are a well-run organization from top to bottom. They have incredible talent. Some of the guys on our team even know some of their players, and they've spoken very highly of the caliber that we'll be fighting against in a week. And they're in a comparable league. They play in the Midwest Premier League, and they had a similar finish to ours this year. We both finished runner-up in our respective leagues. And so we are looking for, in my opinion, what should be a very evenly and hotly contested, probably a little tight, cagey, and tactical from the off. But we hope to be good hosts, but not necessarily gracious hosts when we welcome them. And I just hope that we put on a good show that's worthy of not just U.S. soccer, but of the U.S. Open Cup.
No, absolutely. And of course, we all know not just the big prize is to make that first round draw for 2026, but if you do qualify for the Open Cup, there's that opportunity to be the longest standing and the only standing club in the upcoming tournament, where you could win the John Mata Cup and that prize money for $50,000 and an automatic entrance to 2027. Do you feel that's an added incentive to finally reach this tournament?
We always feel our stance is that trophies and any kind of physical merit that we can get is always worth the struggle and always worth the battle to go get it. But ultimately, what our club stands on is excellence is always worth every bit of pursuit, whether it's from me in the administrative role to the last player on the bench. Excellence will be the pursuit at every single position on this team. And if we can get a couple extra bits of silverware or a couple extra bits of notoriety, or even get on a broadcast somewhere in the Open Cup itself proper next year, we will chase that with everything we have in us.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. And I really do hope that your club does get that opportunity. For yourself, obviously I can see the flag behind you. You're a Liverpool supporter. Obviously FA Cups, League Cup, the Caribou Cup, they're very important tournaments that you want to see your club get. Where do you rank the Open Cup yourself here in the States?
Well, I believe it's the second oldest American sporting tradition in the U.S. I think only the Kentucky Derby is older than the U.S. Open Cup. It's much like the Stanley Cup. Your name is etched in history in this trophy itself, because your name goes to the U.S. Soccer Hall of Fame as part of that trophy, and it's forever etched into the history of our game from there on. So again, we believe in incremental success with our club, but we also have a long mindset of how we want to view everything we do in the club, even from the founding of the club to where thinking about where my kids will be at when they're 18, with hopefully my son playing for this team as well when he's older. But where do we see that? Where do we want the club to? How do we want the club to be viewed 50 years from now, 100 years from now? And that's just a step. That's a piece of that greatness.
It really is. And, I know how much you love the Open Cup, how much I love the Open Cup. I've always been a proponent of it, just like everyone else. It is the national championship of the sport in this country, professional, amateur, semi-professional. Hopefully, maybe the colleges will get an opportunity to go into it. But, this is what everyone wants to be a part of, to take out the bigger teams that do enter, depending on which designation of which round they go into. And, if you can survive it, that would be great. If not, look, you gave it your best shot. That's all you can ask for. And right now, you have an opportunity against Boffs in the second round of the Open Cup qualification process. So all I can tell you is good luck. this upcoming, I shouldn't say this upcoming weekend, next weekend.
Yes,
It
the
will
11th.
be the 11th and 12th.
11th.
On the 11th, yep.
Mhm.
Yep, on October the 11th on Saturday. Hopefully it'll be you advancing to the third round, and we'll see what happens. But, anything else you'd like to tell us about your club, Ross?
Just stay tuned for big news, as we have lots of partnerships coming up, and we have some excellent things in the way of uniforms coming very soon with our new supplier. But please support us. And Daniel, once again, can't thank you enough for the opportunity. Really appreciate all your hard work for the last decade.
Thank you very much. And once again, thank you, Ross, for joining me tonight. I'm really happy to have you on. Ross Harris, the owner of Woodland SC out of Shawnee, Kansas. They're getting ready for the second round against Bootleggers FC out of Missouri of the 2026 U.S. Open Cup qualification second round of qualifying.
Thank you, Daniel.
And once again, that is Mr. Ross Harris of Woodland SC over in Shawnee, Kansas, as they get ready for their big Open Cup matchup. Now, joining me tonight for their Open Cup matchup, this upcoming second rounder, very fun club, obviously. I love the name, Bootleggers FC, Bootleggers AC, I should say, as they are getting ready to go into this Open Cup qualification round number 2. And joining me tonight is one of their players, Mr. Will Schwang from AC Bootleggers. Will, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Absolutely, Daniel. Thank you for having me. It was put together last second, but I'm always available. Life of a goalkeeper,
Absolutely. It's the buck stops with you.
Absolutely. Starts with me on offense. I'm the last line of defense.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Good man. So to ask us, when did this the Bootleggers name come around, and how long has the club been in Kentucky?
So our head coach, Brandon Ponchak, he always had an idea to start a OVPL club in the area. I'd say the idea sprung about 2022, 2023. And he finally took action on it early this year. So we've been around for this year officially. We played in the OVPL this year. Really, really did our best. New club, I'm really familiar with joining a new club, getting through the processes of that. Yeah,
So you're the lucky charm.
Hey, sometimes. Sometimes.
It's okay. Look, I'll let you have it. It's okay. You're fine in my book. That's for sure. So as we already talked about the OVPL, Ohio Valley Premier League, how difficult is this league for those of us that are not familiar with it?
So it's fairly difficult. I would say for the Midwest region, mainly because of the strong collegiate programs that are near the area. We are luckily able to get some of the local talent, of course, former pros and stuff like that, like myself. But the guys that we can bring in for during that time period makes it super, super athletic. A little bit younger too. It's around that age group that, most scouts and guys that are looking at players, you're looking at that age range. So it's an area that you can scout some talent, and all the teams in our conference all pull from the colleges. So it's a very competitive division, especially this year.
Now, where do you get most of your players? You come from the Kentucky side of things, you get from the Ohio side of things, or did they just come together and become one big thing?
So yeah, I personally live in a cool area in southeastern Indiana. The club is in northern Kentucky, and there's a lot of good clubs like SC Cincinnati and such in Cincinnati. So we have a I-275 loop that kind of goes through each state a little bit, and all the colleges that are close to there we're able to pull from. So NKU, formerly UC, they kind of cut ways with their program a few years ago. But we can do Xavier and even like Indianapolis and stuff like that as well.
Do you get any players from the University of Cincinnati or Louisville or?
Yes. Yeah. I was actually able to be in the inaugural season of the OVPL in 2020. That's when I myself was coming out of college and getting my first opportunities. And that's the year they cut the UC program. So we pretty much took in all the players, and we just had that club ready and as a UC team essentially with me in goal. So it was unfortunate timing for the players, given the collegiate state, but we took advantage of it and we ran and got the title. So it was nice.
I have a question for you from a viewer. He says, if the colleges decide to leave the NCAA and join the USL, how would that affect your club and others like your club?
I would say probably mild to medium effect. It depends because on the amount of players. There is a little bit of a gap to where there's some individuals in a Division I program that are really interested in developing in the offseason and getting better. But that's only some from these schools. I think there's room if the talent pool and the process to work and become a pro in this league and in this country. Maybe the will to want to do it is going to drive more people. If they see more people make it, they're like, oh, maybe I'll go try and play in these leagues now. And maybe we'll get more people to come. But initially, I think it might, especially for our area.
No, we'll see what happens there, and hopefully it won't. But you never know about these things when things change, and hopefully they may stay the same. You never know, but we'll see what happens there. Talking about your club, your head coach. Who is your head coach for the club, and what type of style does he like to play?
So the head coach is Brandon Ponchak. He was my goalkeeper coach for my USL2 opportunities when I had them out of college. So I've always kept them in close networks, and I really loved the play style we had at the time. And I kind of carried that knowledge with me throughout my career so far. And I'd say lately it's a little more arranged to the modern game. I would say be ready to play fast. Stay under control, and keep a first touch really close. Because
that's
the
great
pace, the tactical knowledge and awareness that's just some of the guys have. Being a goalie, I just get to stand back there and just see the operations of all of it, and it's just I've been through a lot and I've seen a lot, so I'm happy with what we have, really. And getting to this point, I think we're going to be able to show. I'm trying not to go too far, but possessive, aggressive is probably 2 words to really describe it. I enjoy it as a goalkeeper. So.
No, that's fantastic. And, you have to play that type of style sometimes just so you can get those victories. When you talk about the Open Cup, in your personal opinion, at the level that you're currently in right now, what does that mean to you to try and fight, scratch and claw for these qualifying rounds just to get to the round proper in the opening round in 2026?
I think the motivation is at an all-time high. I think for guys like me in my position, it's my 30th birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And I've really been pushing for a contract for a long time at a really high level. And I've gotten inches close to getting there, practice squads. So when I see the Open Cup every year, I'm like, this is a prove it. You know what I mean? When you get into that official first round, it's a prove it. And the guys that are that talented and skillful to get there are going to be there. And that put it in the work.
Yeah.
So for me and a lot of the guys on this squad, we're really, really pushing to make an impact. And it starts here with a fairly familiar opponent. I've fortunately played with some of the players on this team, so we got a little insight. They're good dudes.
Yep. Well, glad to hear it. Obviously, they better be because they got to protect your butt. Even though you're protecting their goal, they got to protect you, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'll hear my voice. I'll make that known. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I can't wait for that to see what's going to happen there. Now, you play at last I checked, you play at Scott High School in Taylor Mill, Kentucky, unless the venue has changed the last time I've checked. What is it about playing over at Scott High School in their stadium, and how strong is the support coming to watch you play?
It's been very positive. I'm in Indiana, so I'm familiar with more of these high schools. So this is actually my first time ever going there for training and games. I'd say this just objectively, the stadium itself can really hold a crowd. You can do a lot. you can do a lot with the space and time. The interest is there. And I think mainly we chose it as a home base because of our the sponsors we have. We do a lot for the Northern Kentucky Children's Advocacy Center, and their center is like 10 minutes away from that location. So we're able to really do like a lot of good fundraising at the games and really get the community involved to support that and then support us as well from all the time and effort we've been putting in for, man, 8 months now, something like that. So,
Yeah.
And we've been consistent, which I'm really happy with. So.
Oh, that's great to hear. Now, your second round opponent will be Southern Indiana FC. They just won their first round matchup in the Southern Indiana Derby. What is it about this club that you've seen personally, if you have, that you think you can actually knock them off and go on to the next round?
Yes. Yeah. If there's anything I learned about playing this game over the years is that variability will always have cause on the soccer pitch. And no matter what, if it's weather, if it's some guys don't show up to play, I just know that I control what I can control, but we're going to come in with a game plan and style that we have pretty much just been tailoring for the last 8 months straight. Conditioning wise, I think compared from the OVPL season, since it was such a quick kind of process to get the rosters going, luckily everyone's done their due diligence on the back end to stay in shape and really be able to do that aggressive part of that passive aggressive style. So I'm really happy with that. And I think come Sunday, it'll be nice to see some former teammates of mine on the other side, but it's hugs and cheers after the game. We're going to get
Absolutely. Nope, absolutely. Can't wait for that. You know, there's that new incentive in the Open Cup proper. If you are the longest running amateur team in the proper tournament of the Open Cup, your club can win $50,000 and hoist the John Mata Cup, and of course return automatically for the next tournament in 2027. Does that give you extra incentive to advance all the way to that first round draw?
Absolutely. With what our head coach is, his outlook on this club itself, we're still in those kind of infant stages, but the outlook, the region, the area is very much on board. And I think big results like this that puts our name at a national scale really puts into perspective of what guys can do when we all put our brains to something and time and energy. You know, the investment side isn't necessarily there for our level. You know, we try our hardest to keep guys involved in the play, but big results on a big scale like this and a tournament like this that they allow to keep doing every year, we need it. Absolutely have to need it. So the motivation's all-time high.
That's
The goal's the
fantastic.
cup.
Yep, that's all that matters. You have a favorite Open Cup memory if you've watched or been a part of in the past, or no?
I would say as a FC Cincinnati kind of fan, I would say some of the results that they've had in the U.S. Open Cup really inspired me. Right out of college, when they were still in USL, I was able to have some training time with them, and you just get to see, and you see them actually on the TV and participating and getting the results. So you get to see the work applied to the game all come together, and I'm just there like, the fire in me is burning so hot. I want to be there so bad. So it starts here, though. It's one step at a time. Just like the OVPL, we knew it was one game at a time to get where we wanted to be. So we're ready. We're ready, and I'm happy.
It sounds like you're ready to go. I mean, I know you're chomping at the bit. You're ready to go. I mean, you're probably losing sleep already. You can't wait. What is it? Today's Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think Saturday's your game, or Sunday's your game. It's one of those two weekend days. Yep. I know you want to. Yep, there you go. You want to get to it right away, and I don't blame you. I hope you're going to do very well, and we'll see what happens. But obviously, Will, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me tonight. Good luck on the weekend, and good luck to Bootleggers, AC Bootleggers, to get that big win to go to the third round.
Absolutely, Daniel. Thank you very much. Boot it up.
Boot it up. Thank you. Will Schrag. Will Schwang joining me tonight, talking about, of course, AC Bootleggers coming out of Kentucky. This is what you want to hear. This is what you want to hear. You want to hear the Open Cup. You want to hear what they want, what is going on, how it's going on, and everything else involved. Because one thing is for sure, one thing is definitely for sure, is that you have these clubs ready to go. You have these clubs wanting to go and put out there their time and their heart, sweat, and tears to go out and perform and be a part of the Open Cup. Because what do they want to do? They want to do well. They want to be there for the Open Cup. They want to be a part of this. They want to be a part of this. So once again, this is the situation that is big. This is the situation that is coming up. This is what they want to do. This is how they want to be a part of the Open Cup, because they want to have their moment in the sun. They want to have their moment in the sun and go forward. They really, really want to get it going. And as we are awaiting my next guests for this Open Cup Round 2 preview show, joining me is hopefully we're going to have on the owner of the club, Brian Flincham, and his head coach, Fabian Bonchero, joining me tonight as they are ready to go, have some fun, and talk about their club. And they are based out of Jacksonville, Florida, playing in the UPSL Florida Central Conference. And once again, this is a club that wants to get at it as well. This is the club that wants to go after it and be a part of it. Absolutely wants to go out and find a way to go out and do some damage. Period. They want to go out and have some fun and do excellent work. So, once again, the hope is that they go out and get the job done. And once again, as we await what's happening here, as we hope to get Brian Fincham to be on the show and talk to us about his club. As you can see, they're going to face Stetson FA, also from Florida, from Stetson, Florida, in their second round opponent. This should be an interesting matchup, and we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. And once again, it is exciting and a lot of fun as we prepare ourselves for this round 2 matchup in the U.S. Open Cup. So get ready for that. Get ready for a lot of fun. Get ready for some excitement. This should be a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to see what will happen here. And once again, this will be a big time situation with Bold City Soccer Academy, Bold City FC, as they go out there and show us why they are a part of this run for the U.S. Open Cup. This, my friends, is where we all hope that this team can go out and prove that they deserve to be in the U.S. Open Cup. And hopefully we'll have Fabian Banchero, the head coach. We'll have Brian Flincham, the executive director of the club. Can't wait to see what will happen with them coming in. And once again, it should be a lot of fun, should be exciting. And as I've said, the hope is that we have a grand old time. We have a lot of fun, and it will be pretty good. Cannot wait to see what's going to happen, and hopefully they'll be coming back on. So let's do this. Let's go back again and get out the schedule just to remind everybody of the games that are happening. Once again, here it is right there. This upcoming weekend, of course, also Friday night, there'll be one game. Western Mass Pioneers hosting Atletico Boston on Friday, October the 10th. And then the rest of the matches for Saturday, October 11th will be out of Pennsylvania, Veringung Erzgebirge taking on Colonial FC. In Massachusetts, it'll be CD Fialenza taking on Project Football. From Pennsylvania, Capital City Islanders, once again, they'll be taking on from Maryland, Moco 1776. In New Jersey, we got FC Monmouth taking on Bulldogs FC. SC Vistula Garfield taking on Ironbound SCP. In Maryland, we have MSI Pro taking on Virginia's Arlington SA Pro. In Kansas, we have Woodland SC taking on both St. Louis out of Missouri. United SC out of Illinois taking on Edgewater Castle. In North Carolina, Mint Hill SC taking on Southern Carolina United Heat SC. Out of Florida, we have O'Shea's FC taking on FC Florida. Parkland Travel Soccer Club taking on Florida Football Club. Out of Texas, we have ASC New Stars against SVD Beaumont. Out of North Carolina, we have Briar United FC taking on Greenville United FC. Out of Florida, Bold City SC taking on Stetson FA, as we talked about already. Fort Myers FC taking on Badgers FC. Out of Oklahoma, we had Tulsa Athletic taking on Denton Diablos out of Texas. Out of Florida, we have Deportivo Lake Mary taking on Emerald FC Florida. FC Kanks taking on Harbor City FC. Out of California, we have Napa Valley 1839 FC taking on FC Folsom out of California, of course. Next Level Soccer taking on the Olympians FC. And finally, Valley 559 FC taking on Real San Jose. On Sunday, October the 12th, out of Pennsylvania, Steel City FC hosting FCY New York. Out of Virginia, Dorados FC taking on the Virginia Dream FC. Out of New Hampshire, FC Lone Star GPSE taking on Massachusetts FC Omens. Gorilla FC out of Washington, D.C. taking on the DMV Elite out of Maryland. We have Oakland United FC out of New Jersey taking on the Scots American Athletic Club out of Kearney, New Jersey. Metropolitan Oval Academy in New York taking on Central Park Rangers. Zum Schneider FC taking on Osners FC. Doxa SC taking on Lansdowne Yonkers FC. The New York Greek Americans taking on the New York Renegades. Out of Virginia, Grove United taking on Alexandria Reds. Out of Ohio, Cleveland SC against Akron City FC. Out of Colorado, Boulder United taking on Harpo's FC. Out of Ohio, Croatia, Cleveland taking on Michigan's Detroit Metro FC. Out of Indiana, Southern Indiana FC taking on the Bootleggers AC. Out of Kentucky, out of Nebraska, Omaha Street taking on Iowa Demon Hawks out of Iowa. Out of Colorado, Peak 11 FC taking on Azteca FC. Out of Illinois, Chicago House AC taking on Wisloka Chicago. Out of Georgia, Majestic SC taking on Atletico Buford. Out of Florida, Miami Soccer Academy taking on River Miami FC. Pinellas County United Pelicans taking on CFL America Spurs FC. Miami United FC taking on Boca Juniors Miami FC. Out of Georgia, Kalanji Pro Profile taking on Lemino, Georgia. North Georgia United taking on Potros FC. I think I got that correct. Could be Potros. I could be wrong. Out of Florida, Hurricane FC taking on the Palm Beach Flames. Out of Tennessee, Tennessee SC taking on, out of Michigan, Eagles, or Mississippi, I should say, Eagles Sports South Haven. So it probably has to be MS. Out of Texas, 210 FC taking on Master Joga. Out of Florida, Atletico Miami International versus Red Force. Red Force. Out of California, FC Balboa taking on San Diego International. The Olympic Club taking on Albion SC Silicon Valley. City SC San Diego taking on Rebels SC. Out of Washington State, Sharktopus FC taking on Bellevue Athletic Club FC. Out of California, Inter San Francisco again facing CF San Rafael. Irvine FC taking on Apple Valley Storm. Ariana FC taking on Bay Area United. And San Ramon FC taking on Dublin Celtic FC. That's right, pot roast. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the schedule for the 3 match days for round 2 of the second round of qualifying of the U.S. Open Cup. It's exciting. It's fun. Cannot wait to see what's going to happen. It should be a lot of fun. It should be a good time. And, hopefully we'll have on some good scores that we will get to you in a very short period of time. Well, it looks like Bold City FC will not be joining us tonight. Unfortunately, I guess something has come up. They were not able to come on. Once again, the club was training tonight, so unfortunately we could not get either Brian Flincham, board member, or Fabian Buchero, the head coach of the club, to join us tonight. So that's okay. Like I said, these things happen sometimes, unfortunately, and we'll just have to see what's going to happen. And once again, it's just a situation that sometimes you just can't predict. Unfortunately, probably an emergency did happen, or they're just not able to get out of training. So that's okay. It's all right. Hopefully we'll have them again soon. Maybe in the 4th round review, if they do qualify for the Open Cup. We'll see what happens there. And, hopefully we'll have them ready to go the next time. And, we'll see what it is. So we'll just get ready for our final guest tonight. Now, normally I don't do this because I want to give these clubs an opportunity to come on the show to introduce themselves and give them a chance. But what we're going to do is we're going to give one of these winners from the first round a chance to come on talk about what they did in their last round, and of course, talk about how they're able to get through and now play in their next round. And very soon, uh, they'll be joining me tonight talking about anything and everything that they did in that matchup. And once again, it is just a pleasure to have these shows, to talk to these people that once again, they are in Open Cup qualifying. They're getting ready to battle and fight for this opportunity to come on the show and be ready. And once again, it's going to be a pleasure to have some of these people come on the show and talk about it. So we are now waiting for Damon Gochner, owner of the Denton Diablos, to join us tonight to talk about their first round victory and then go into their second round opponent. It's should be fun, should be exciting. And just like that, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Damon Gochner of the Denton Diablos. Whoops. I hit the wrong thing. There we go. Sorry about that. That's on my end, Damon. You're good to go. I hit the key by mistake. But how are you? Congratulations on your first round victory. What was that like to face that opponent, to take on Sporting North Texas NTX? And what was that like for you?
No, man, it was great. It's a totally different experience for us. So, having a team compete at a level of display in the fall is a first for us. So we're super excited about that. And we had 5 guys from our USL2 team that made the roster for our 18-man game day for the Open Cup. So we were excited to see a little bit of continuity, and we saw that on the pitch with the final result. We were confident going into the game and felt good, and obviously felt well pleased with the result at the end. 6-2 kind of speaks for itself. We had, I think, 4 or 5 different goal scorers. We debuted a 17-year-old and 16-year-old player, and 17-year-old scored, I believe, the 5th or 6th goal. So, all around, it was a good day at the pitch. We had a pretty good little crowd, and the most important thing is we survive and advance.
Exactly. Like I said, the last time I spoke with you, it's a different vibe now because you're going through Open Cup qualifying instead of the typical way that either NPSL and USL League Two does it these days. And I understand they may be now removing that mechanism for those clubs. Yep. Better late than never, or you wish you would have had it then.
No, 100%, man. Listen, I appreciate and respect the leadership for both organizations, understanding that while it's great and it's a blessing for the teams that are able to take advantage of the opportunity, I'll be very sincere, Daniel. One of the reasons that we played in the Metroplex Premier League was to have a local league that qualified under the U.S. Open Cup guidelines for what would be necessary for a fall and or spring league that would allow us to then enter the Open Cup as a MPL team, which is the badge we're wearing this season for exactly that reason. I appreciate immensely George and everything that he's done at the Metroplex Premier League. It serves a valuable role in a Metroplex like Dallas-Fort Worth, where there's 7.5, 8 million people, and even more that we can't count. So there's a lot of soccer-loving people in the community, and we see a lot of teams. So it's a testament that I think we had 6 or 8 teams enter in the first round proper from the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And yeah, to your point, it is a totally different beast. It's a different scenario for us. It comes with its own unique challenges and its own opportunities. We're excited to see a lot of new guys wearing the badge for the first time and having success. And then, allowing us to compete and ultimately get a shot to do something the club hasn't done before. That's win in the Open Cup proper and or beat a professional team. So, those are some of the goals that we've set out when we created the club in 2018 in the corner of East Side. So, absolutely.
If I can ask you this, the fans, obviously, obviously they're going to be there for you no matter what. And I know how dedicated the people of Denton are to your club. But when you made this move going from MPSL to USL League Two, and of course now competing through Open Cup qualifying, Was there any concerns from your fans about how the club was going to operate at the same time compete, or they were like, nah, we dominated back the old league, then we're going to dominate here?
No, I think that's a great question. I think there was a little bit of trepidation. I think the well-informed fan, to your point, Daniel, knew that we were taking a step up, and anytime you take a step up, that's an opportunity for you to get to get litmus tested and to get benchmarked and to find out that you might not be where you are. So 100%, but we were absolutely cautiously optimistic that we were able to have success at the NPSL level. We had competed against some USL2 teams in the Hank Steinbrecher Cup and in some friendlies, and felt we had a fair understanding of where we stacked up in that regard. And I think our fans, I think to your point though, Daniel, I think the casual soccer fan for the Diablos either doesn't know or doesn't really care who we play or when we play. They just love coming out to the games and being a part of the community environment and seeing kids that are local from Denton and from the Metroplex, and kids that graduated from local high schools and played for local clubs. And now to see kids that have come up through our own youth academy make their debuts and represent the club in, a historic tournament like the Open Cup, it's pretty special. So yeah, listen, we knew though, to your point, 100% that the step up from the NPSL to the USL2, not only on the field and the talent and the number of Division I players, the number of players that go on to play professionally, all of those statistics, but just the quality of organizations, the depth of organizations, the manpower, the fan power, all of those things. So, they just announced today that the Annapolis Blues were just named the USL2 newcomer of the year. And that's another former NPSL club. So, all of those things gave us a little bit of faith to be cautiously optimistic. And, at the end of the day, we were super close this season. The season came down to 2 or 3 goals total. And so anytime you can look up and be that close to where you want to be at the end over a 12-game season and thousands of miles traveled and almost 40 something, I think we had 39 or 40 players rostered and make a debut this season. So tons of opportunity given to young men. And so, we were really, really close to the ultimate success, which is punching our ticket for the playoffs and trying to make some noise beyond there. So, we look forward to the off season. We've seen a little bit of change already with some new teams coming into the Mid-South, and we're excited about what the future holds in USL2.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm very happy for you. I know how much effort you put into the club. I know how much you care for the game, and you're trying to put Denton on the soccer map for sure, without a doubt. It's not just Dallas. It's not just Houston. It's not just Austin, El Paso. It's obviously in the smaller towns like Denton, anywhere else. I mean, look, where did Clint Dempsey come from? A small town in Texas.
Nacogdoches.
Yep.
Yeah, he came from Nacogdoches, played through Tyler, and then played for the Texans in Dallas-Fort Worth when he had to find a bigger place. But you're absolutely right, Daniel. There's tons of talent in Denton County. Little Elm is right down the street from us, and that's the home of Weston McKinney. That's the home of Reggie Cannon. That's the home of a lot of guys and a lot of talent. So you're absolutely right, and that talent just needs an opportunity, and we've seen that storyline come through and that's why I love the Open Cup, because it is the ultimate just giving an opportunity to young men to just go punch the ticket and just survive and advance and get a chance to compete and showcase their skills against the quote unquote, the professionals, right? And see and make some noise, and then, dream the dream for one more day.
Exactly. Well, you're going to face in the second round an old buddy of yours from the NPSL days, Sonny D'Alessandro's Tulsa, Oklahoma, Tulsa Athletic. This is where my heart is hurting. This is where my heart hurts, because I love both of you. I love both of you.
100%.
I know it's competition. You love each other and everything. And it's going to be a hard fought battle no matter what. But, I respect both of you. Obviously, he went his way creating the league for clubs. You went your way with USL League too. What's it going to be like? I know you both battled, I believe, for the NPSL championship. I believe that one season. What is that going to be for both of you to lock up horns again in this type of environment?
No, man. Listen, Daniel. When we were doing the back of the paper math on who was left and trying to figure out where we were going to go in the in between time of winning the first round and waiting for the U.S. Open Cup to announce the next draw, when we got kind of the pool of teams that were available, and I kind of did I was like, the soccer gods are just too poetic and just to not allow this matchup to happen. And so, in my mind, I feel like I feel like we should be the final game to get in, because that's just the nature of the history of the two clubs. But a lot's on the line, and they're extremely talented. I watched their match. I think they won 7-1 or 7-0 or 6-0, but a lot of goals to very little. They played a team out of Bartlesville, but they look very strong. And we're playing them up in Tulsa, so we've got the bus lined up, we've got the meals lined up, we got our trainer ready to go. We feel like we have the Trojan horse loaded, ready to present. But we know, it's, to your point, it's absolutely going to be a battle. But this is the beauty of soccer. So that's another program that we talked about, Daniel, like Tulsa, and what Sonny's done in the city and the community, and the pitch he's built and the way he's done it is absolutely admirable. And I have nothing but the highest of respect for him. And so we played him in NPSL championship in 2021, got him at home in the friendly confines of Mary Jane Stadium in Denton, and did real well, 5-2 ultimate winners. And then we went up and played them in 2024 in a friendly, when they were having some problems with the NPSL, and we're looking for some fun teams to play, and they got us 3-1. So a rubber match in my mind of the kind of best of three who can do it. But I say this, if of all of the teams that we could have been matched up against, and I'm never one to say that I think we're going to lose, but if my exit comes at the hands of the Tulsa Athletics, then I'll tip my cap and be extremely proud of the competition we faced, and feel like it was a worthy suitor that got my best shot, or our best shot, I should say.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And I'm a little surprised you're going to bring your own meals. I thought Sonny's going to cook for you.
No, man. I love Alessandro's. I love it. Buddy, his swordfish and his carpaccio and his cream, his cheesecake are some of my favorite things in all the world. So yeah, most of the time it's up there, having a lot of fun and enjoying it for a lot of different reasons. This time it'll be up and back, and we've got the meals set up, and we trust our friends, but keep our enemies even closer. So we'll take our own food, take our own trainers, take our own water, take our own stuff, and that's the way we roll.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Real quick before I let you go, I have to ask
Shoot.
you, your team store is still in downtown Denton?
It is. Yeah, we're super excited. We've been working hard with Lexa. Downtown Denton is the Halloween capital of the state of Texas. So they go super crazy. We have Ghostbusters buildings, and the entire Denton Square gets decorated, and it's a really, really fun environment. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right. Every Friday and Saturday, we try to have the team store manned up, and we have a couple young folks in there working it for us. But it's a super cool opportunity. It's right across the street from Eastside, which was one of our first sponsors. A lot of times we've got a lot of specials going on, giving away free beer from Union Bear, one of our newest sponsors and our jersey sponsor this year. And then El Tequino, we've had some, some tequila tastings and some tequila giveaways in there where, you come in, shop, and you get a free shot of tequila or a free margarita or all kinds of things. So, yeah, having a lot of fun with it, man. I appreciate it.
That's great. I'm very happy for you as always. And I just want you to keep on rolling, keep on going. And hopefully, that certain mechanism does come into place that you can move up, and we'll see if it does happen.
Yeah, I think all right now, all our face and eggs are in the USL basket, and we're extremely proud and excited to be a part of the organization. And their visionary leadership has already set the tone for ProRel in a lot of different ways. And I think a lot of the issues that prevent clubs like ours and a lot of the other really good clubs we've talked about, Tulsa, a handful of others that we talked about on the show tonight, from going pro and taking that next step. So we're excited for the future as well. Daniel, as always, man, we're extremely, extremely thankful and blessed for you and what you do and the platform that you provide. So thank you for all you do and the light that you shine on clubs like ours.
Absolutely, because it's not just what the professionals do, it's everybody. The grassroots must come first. No doubt about it.
Damon Gochner, for 20.
Absolutely. And Damon Gochner needs his beauty sleep. He's too tired. Yeah, have a good night. Thanks again, Damon. I appreciate it. And good luck in the second round.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you. Damon Gochner, the owner of the Denton Diablos in Denton, Texas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my guests tonight. Once again, I want to thank the owner of Capital City Islanders, Alex McGee, his head coach, Johnny Morris, from Woodland Soccer Club in Kansas, Ross Harris. I want to thank Will Schwang from Bootleggers Club, the AC over in Kentucky, and Damon Gochner from Denton Diablos. Join me tomorrow night as I review the 2025 U.S. Open Cup final, joined by Eric Goodman of the Austin Chronicle and Valer Shabella from 615 Soccer. As always, thank you very much for watching me tonight. My name is Daniel Feuerstein, and please, 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 please enjoy your football. Thank you. Take care. So long, and bye-bye for now. Have a good night, everybody.